Good evening, Facebook family. I know you don't usually see me live, but I have felt compelled to start this new series. So when you come in, just make a comment, let me know that you're here, but it's going to be very fast what I'm going to say. So basically, my name is Ricky Burney. I am a motivational speaker, transformational mindset coach. But what I also do, many of you may be aware, I actually also do recruiting for a financial institution. So I interview thousands of candidates, and I've noticed that there's a common theme. There are many people that have the skill sets for these jobs, but they don't necessarily have the interviewing skills to communicate that in the process. Hi, Kia. How are you tonight? So what I wanted to do is start a series to allow people to get rid of some of those small but impactful mistakes that are causing them to lose out on opportunity. And tonight I want to focus specifically on the roles that we confuse the hiring managers for. You know how back when you were younger, your mother would tell you, who do you think you're speaking to? Do you think you're speaking to one of your friends? I'm not one of your friends. I'm your mother. I'm your father. And that's the same way we have to approach these managers. We can't approach them any type of way. We have to remember that they are the manager. So the first role that I notice many of us confuse these managers with is our friend. We may have a manager that is somewhat laid back, somewhat, I would say, cool. They're not as strict or reserved as some other managers that you've encountered. Because of that, you may let your guard down and think that you can speak to them any kind of way. What I want you to realize is that you must always remain professional. Offhand remarks are never okay. I don't care if that manager themselves made an offhand remark. Do not put yourself in the place of being judged about that. So nothing about politics. Don't speak about the secretary that checked you in. Don't make any remarks about her. Just allow yourself to let your professionalism shine. Because even though they may be laughing with you, trust me, they're taking note of everything that you are saying. So yes, they may say, well, you're a great person. I would love to hang out with you. But just because they think you're fun doesn't mean that they feel that you're productive. They may want you at the happy hour, but they may not necessarily want you on the payroll. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get on the payroll, or are you trying to get at the happy hour? You have to make your mind up on what it is that you're trying to do. So if you want the job, always remain professional no matter how laid back that manager looks. The next one that I notice that many of us do is we confuse them with our therapists. When I say a therapist, that means that we unleash some of those feelings that we've been harboring about our past job, our past manager, and we take that opportunity to speak ill about that person, to say how toxic your last position was, how toxic the last work environment was. And you take that as a time to unleash it onto that manager. But what you're doing is you're creating a negative image of yourself. Because if you're doing that to that manager, what would make them think that you wouldn't do that to them as well? So you don't want to use that opportunity to speak negative about anybody else. It's not your time to vent. It's your time to shine, to show your skills. And along with the therapist role, many of us suffer with a little lack of self-confidence in maybe certain aspects of the role. Maybe there's some technology that's involved that you're not very familiar with. This is not the time for you to express that to the manager, that you are hesitant about that. Now, they understand that there's going to be some systems that each company has that you don't have necessarily the experience with. But what they want to know is that you are coachable, that you are adaptable, that you're able to learn, because they have training set up for you so that you can learn that job. But see, what we do is we tell them, well, I don't really have the skills for this. I'm not sure if I'm able to do the job. What you're doing is counterproductive. You don't want to tell them why you feel you're not great for that role. You want to be communicating why you are the best person for the job. And you can't do that if you are saying that you're not comfortable with certain aspects of the job. So make sure that you don't take that time to try to build self-confidence with that manager, because their role is to get the best person for the job, not to alleviate any type of doubt that you have about yourself. And finally, similar to the therapist, what we sometimes do is we treat that manager as a social worker. And when I say a social worker, what I mean by that is we unleash all of our problems with life onto them in order to see if they're going to do something about that. So, for example, what we'll always ask is, number one, can you do the job? And the other question, can you work the schedule for that job? They'll lay it out flat for you so you know what you're getting into. Now, the answer to that question should be yes or no. But what we tend to get into is, well, I can't work the schedule because I have 5 kids and my baby's father is in jail and my mother unfortunately can't watch him because she's chasing behind her boyfriend, and my oldest kid has a behavior problem, so they always need somebody to watch them. Stop it. I'm just telling you, just stop it right now, because that manager doesn't care. Their main job is to know, can you do the job? Can you work the schedule? All the rest of that is not their concern. And also what you're doing when you do that, you are opening yourself up for discrimination. And I know that's something we don't want to hear, but the truth is, it's going to happen. And there's ways around that. If you open the can of worms, you can't get mad because they treat you differently because of that. That information is protected. The only thing that matters is your skills, your talents, and your abilities. Do not divulge personal information that does not pertain to that job. So thank you everyone who tuned in. I see we have quite a few others who have joined me today. Hey Takoya, hey Latasha, good seeing you. Hey Heather, how are you today? Debrica, hi, nice seeing you as well. So like I was telling everyone, what I'm going to do is start a weekly series where I'm going to speak about the interview process and where we make the small mistakes. Because again, we have so many talented people that have the skills for the job, but they're just not effectively communicating that in the interview process. And all it takes is eliminating those small mistakes. So each week we're going to deal with a different topic on eliminating those small mistakes. So thank you again for tuning in. For some of you, you may know that I have an appearance on Resolve to Reclaim 2018 that is available as of today. Go to resolvetoreclaim.com and that will allow you to download that. It's also on YouTube as well. For those that are local as well, I will be speaking at the Young and Hungry Networking Mixer on Wednesday. That is taking place from 6 to 8 o'clock. And it's going to be a great time. It's going to be networking, getting some information, and of course, some empowerment words from me. So if you are local, it's at 522 Oakville Drive at Cowork Landing. That is where the event is taking place. Just $10, small investment, but great return. Thank you again for those that are able to join me. And I look forward to doing this series and also getting your questions, if you have any. Definitely put those in the comments and maybe we'll address those in the next few episodes. Enjoy the rest of your evening.